What's up, everybody? Thanks for clicking this video. Thanks for tuning into my channel. I'm wearing a Christmas sweater, and my name is Simon Hill, Black American from Louisiana, and I'm here with my beautiful, sexy wife. Say hi, boo.
Hi everyone, this is Acti, and I'm not wearing a Christmas sweater. Today we are reviewing Devil in a Blue Dress. Okay, I was waiting for the entrance.
Jesus Christ. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Anyway, this is a 1995 Denzel Washington starring film that's a crime thriller slash social commentary piece about passing and race. Also, a little bit of a political drama. A lot of sexual tension, gangster film, I would say. Did I hit all the notes of the drama, of the genre?
Neo-noir mystery.
Okay, you're being to the T, to the dictionary title. Anyway, this is a pretty overlooked Denzel Washington film. We've reviewed quite a lot of Denzel Washington films on this channel, such as Glory, such as Hurricane. This is a leading role he did in 1995, post Malcolm X. And I think that this is a pretty good film. This is one of the few films that I watched again and liked it even more. Sometimes we rewatch films and, we start tearing it apart. But this one, I think this film deserves 3 or 4 watches because the story is so dense and mysterious and there's a lot of moving parts here. But what did you think about it?
Yeah, it's just like a quick background. This movie came out at the same time Seven did, with Brad Pitt and
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman,
aka God.
Yeah, aka God. And yeah, I think that's why like it got a little less attention, which is a shame because I thought this movie had so much potential. It's kind of like an important movie. Like this was done for the first time by Denzel Washington's production company, and it's like inspired by this book.
Yeah,
about a black detective.
And it was written by a black author. Walter Mosley is a black and Jewish writer who's written tons of books. And the film was directed by a black man, Carl Franklin, and like you said, Denzel Washington's production company.
Yeah, so it's like a very, kind of all black team, but also Walter Mosley wrote other novels with this character. So it had like this potential. That's what Denzel wanted in the beginning, at least. It has this potential of having different movies and becoming a whole series of movies. And I thought like it really had that potential, this movie.
But the thing is, it bombed at the box office. Yeah. So, because like you mentioned, Seven came out, which was a cultural phenomenon. And usually when one genre dominates at the box office, it doesn't translate into other genres, other films of that same genre dominating, other than superhero films. Like we're still living, or no, we're just after the post superhero phase. But like, go ahead.
Yeah, and like it's based in 1940s, right? Los Angeles. And my favorite part about the movie, and I, like you said, realized that the second time I watched it, was the subtle social commentary. Like it's not in your face, and the film goes on like this pattern of like having the crime part and then goes back and we go into, the main character's not suburban.
It is
like,
suburban.
Yeah, I guess suburban life where we see like the people around him and the society and the community. So I like that back and forth. I think that was my favorite like thing in this movie that the director did.
Yeah, I think Carl Franklin, is an incredible director. I haven't seen much of his other work, though he did direct a film with Keanu Reeves called Hardball. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It's a film about this, classic like white savior sports story. White coach teaches an all black baseball team how to win and succeed. Similar to what was that movie with that big black football player and
The Blind Side?
Yeah, The Blind Side. What's the name of that woman? Who was that?
Reese Witherspoon.
That's not Reese Witherspoon.
No,
no, it's oh my God, The Blind Side.
I don't know. I thought it was. I never saw the movie.
Yeah, but it's like
I thought it was Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, no, it stars. Oh my God, Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock. Yeah. Anyway, it's one of those type movies during that time, Okay. But he directed that, and he also did another film with Denzel, Out of Time, that I haven't seen though. But Carl Franklin is really good at directing on like laying a bit of mystery, and also having the film have some comedic relief
Mm.
and still keeping it very gangsta, I would say. So,
Yes.
but going on to the actors here, like we said, Denzel Washington is the main here as Easy Rawlins. But I got to give it up to who I think was the best actor in this thing, and that would be my guy. Where is he? Where is he?
Cheadle.
Yes, Don Cheadle as Mouse. It's very rare to see Denzel out upstaged on a film. And when Don Cheadle appears in this thing, it's like the movie becomes his, and you want to follow that character more than Easy. But there's several other people who are playing in this thing. Jennifer Beals as Daphne Monet, she was good, and Tom Sizemore as Albright was dope as well. But I got to give it up to Don Cheadle. Do you have a favorite actor in this thing?
I would definitely agree with you on Don Cheadle. Like, he stole the show. When I was doing the slideshows, I was like holding myself back from putting every single line he said. Like, it was just so legendary. And like, I don't know. He has this aura in this movie as like the comedic relief, but also like someone who's a killer. Who genuinely enjoys killing people.
He's a serial killer who you want to hug.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, I want to hang out with this killer.
I want to hang out with Mouse. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Mouse will he created a category, which I don't know if he'll win, but we're going to do Gangster of the Year whenever we reach number 200 for our films. And then we do our second Oscars. He's definitely in the running for Gangster of the Year. Yeah. We still have 60 more films to watch before we get there. But he's definitely up there, I would say.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I liked Denzel's acting as well. As always, he was really solid, really good, of like bringing the humanness of his character, I think.
Yeah, definitely. This film doesn't feel like Denzel turned on the full charisma that he is capable of. It was a bit dialed back. And I also think that's why maybe people skip this film when they look at his catalog. You know what I'm saying? Plus, his works with Spike Lee are more focused on than I think other works in this catalog, you know?
Yeah, but I think he was just as good as any role he did in this movie.
But this isn't Hurricane level performance.
Or right? Malcolm X.
Or Malcolm X, right?
Of course. I mean, but it's the story. It's not his fault.
Anyway, moving forward, we're going to jump into the story. So the film opens up. It was summer 1948 in February. So no, he said it was like the beginning of May or something, which is not summer, but whatever. And basically this guy here, his name is Ezekiel, but he goes by Easy. He's looking for a job. And he said he'd been knocking on doors all day trying to get one, but nothing worked out. So he's at Joppy's Bar in downtown Black Los Angeles. And then we get a flashback of how he lost his job. And essentially, he blames it on racism. He says, the white guys don't do overtime and you don't fire them. But when I don't do overtime, you want to let me go. And he, in a respectful and dignified way, tries to beg for his job back and say, I'm not just some guy. My name is Ezekiel and I have a house, a mortgage. I need to pay it and I need to eat. So treat me like a man and respect me. And this guy just says, I got to get back to work, and walks past him. You know what I'm saying? So that's sort of like the setup of Ezekiel's character and motive. You know what I'm saying? He then gets introduced to this guy at Joppy's Bar whose name is Albright. And, Albright says, I got a job for you. I want to meet you later. Come by. And Albright, is very mysterious, and he comes across like as a gangster. You know what I mean? So what did you think of the setup of Easy's story, if anything?
I mean, I like how the introduction shots are made, or in general, the shots of the city, because it really gives you that, I don't know, feeling that you're in that era in Los Angeles. That's kind of like what the first shots are. And, I like the narration. The movie is like narrated by Easy. It's
like narrated like a hood movie. You know what I'm saying? Like every Tubi movie, every hood movie starts off like you're probably wondering how it ended up in the trap. Yeah.
And I mean, Denzel is looking good, like always.
Okay, relax.
He's in his prime, I think.
Okay.
And like I think right off the bat it started with social commentary, which I liked.
Yeah, no. What I like about Easy's character, and I guess the way Denzel does these black characters who lived during like Jim Crow, racism, slavery, he always maintained like some respect. Like remember in Glory, he was getting whooped on and he didn't like yell out, but he dropped that single tear. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Or like in this one right here, he doesn't beg for his job, like, please, sir, I needs my mortgage paid. Like he's like, my name's Ezekiel. And he always does it with a level of dignity. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me feel like this film could have been Sidney Poitier, but Denzel did it. And like it shows that Denzel is leagues beyond Sidney. You know what I'm saying? Because Sidney could do this film, but Denzel could do it too. But Sidney couldn't do certain other roles that Denzel had done. I know that's a reach.
Yes,
I might be
because
reaching.
Sidney Poitier doesn't
What?
play
What?
in love with black women.
You had to say it. You had to say it.
I'm joking.
Oh my God! No.
I mean, I love them. No, just on a serious note, I love them both.
Oh.
But obviously, Denzel is like closer to my time,
I
so
see.
he has a special place, and he is a great actor. Sidney Poitier, I only saw like what 2 or 3 movies of him, and he's also a great actor.
Right,
yeah.
right.
You know,
Sorry
I also like Denzel more, a little bit more than Sidney Poitier.
Yeah, but I could see this film being made like, you know, in the 1960s or 70s with Sidney as the lead, and the film would have been equally as good. You know
I don't think
mean?
Sidney Poitier has like that gangster gene in him. But I don't think he can play a gangster like
But the thing about Easy's character, he's not really a gangster. He's just like some straight edge guy who, actually, yes, you're right. You're right. So let me continue in the story. Anyway, so Albright's like, I work in construction. I work with my hands. I do favors for friends. About a boom, about a bing. And so we find out more about Easy. He was like all of the men of his generation. He went to go fight in Europe in World War II, and he got the GI Bill. And I thought that was interesting. That's an interesting touch to add, and I'll talk about that later. But he essentially comes home to his house, and Easy doesn't have a wife, kids, dog. You know what I'm saying? He just has the tree man who comes around and tries to cut down the trees in his house.
And he loves his house.
And he loves his house. I thought that was so interesting to add this motivation for Easy, because usually in these types of stories, they give the man something greater to protect, a family, a kid. You know what I mean? Instead, it's just the house, right? And I have theories about that, but what did you think about that?
Yeah, I really like this part when like he's driving around town and he's like saluting or greeting his people, like other people in the neighborhood, and he's talking about like sort of the social structure of Black communities in that time. And he's saying like, a lot of people came down from the South to Los Angeles to find better jobs and things like that. And he's even like, I think, alluding to the fact like there's inflation or something. Like he says, when the bread is 75 cents, it's hard out here or something like that. So that was like nice. And this is the part I don't like about this movie. It's very American dream propaganda for me. And we see like, this is a pattern. We see like him talking about his house and doing everything to protect his house because he's paying a mortgage, right?
Yeah.
I don't like that part of this movie, which is like, if you just work hard, you can do anything and have the American dream.
Yes, I mean, definitely there is this fetishization of the house, right, in American culture. That is absolutely true. Now, the thing about the GI Bill was this money that the U.S. government gave soldiers who came back from World War II. And the GI Bill essentially said, we'll pay for your college education. We'll pay for you to put a down payment on a house. And that's how the 1940s, 1950s American dream started to happen. Basically, socialism. The government gave people money and shit for free, and we had a great society. But guess who got that socialism? White men who came back. Many Black men who also fought in World War II did not get the GI Bill. And that's one of the arguments for reparations today, that, people, even if they weren't enslaved, Black people and other dark-skinned people were discriminated against in that way. But Ezekiel got the GI Bill which did happen, but was extremely rare. So it sort of makes me sympathize with him for his fetishization of the house, but also because he doesn't seem to acknowledge that he's special in this case, it makes me agree with you that the film is just the fetishization of the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So very interesting right there.
Yeah. I thought it to be a bit like propaganda.
Yeah, because that part of the story is never acknowledged. And I think if it was just mentioned in passing, like if he said, I got the GI Bill when many of my brothers didn't, and then we just move on, then it would have been more simple. You know, you understand it more.
Yeah.
But the tree man, this is another thing about this film. This guy here is just random comedy throughout.
And which I love.
Which I love it too. And he's always like, Ezekiel, man, you got too many trees. He's like, get on out of here, man. I was like
what is even his job? Is he the gardener? Because nobody seems to want his help.
He's just bothering people, cutting down trees. Anyway, moving forward. So basically, Ezekiel meets up with Albright later on that night, and he says, I don't want to get in no trouble. I don't want to get mixed up in nothing. And Albright says, every time you step outside, you get mixed up in something, which has layers to it. You know what I mean? So anyway, he Albright tells him there's a girl named Daphne Monet, and she is, has a predilection for brothers. She likes jazz, pig's feet, and dark meat. And she likes to be in company with Black people. And during this time, that's a big no-no, right? So Ezekiel is tasked to find this girl on behalf of her former lover, the mayor. And, the mayor is a guy named Todd who is running for re-election, but, he sort of dropped out of the race because of his girlfriend going away or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, basically Ezekiel goes on the mission and he goes to this store that has like an illegal club upstairs. There's people trying to get in, like this white guy right here, but he's not allowed, but Ezekiel's able to go in because he's part of the club, right? He makes it into the club, and there's another guy there. I forgot his name.
Me too. I was trying to.
I forget. This is one of the faults of this film, because this white guy here is important to the story later. This guy here is important to the story later, but there's so many of these characters who pop up. It's hard to keep track of everybody and how they play an integral part. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, this guy has known Ezekiel for a long ass time, and he's, mentioning to him, about their past life in Houston, Texas, where Ezekiel's from. This guy also uniquely smokes zapatas, which are Mexican cigarettes. That becomes important in the story later. And he's, keeps on pressing Ezekiel about his past gangster life. As Acti was mentioning before, Ezekiel is kind of a gangster because apparently he killed somebody in his past in Houston, Texas with his buddy Mouse.
Yeah, and he's trying to repent now, like be a good citizen, be a good man.
Yeah, so before we go any further, when he starts looking for Daphne in this Black club, what did you think about any of these scenes?
Yeah, I low-key was kind of, when he met with Albright, I was like, okay, like, it doesn't seem, I know this is a movie, so it's gonna get fucked up at some point. Right. But at this point, I was like, okay, I would probably do the same thing. It's like $100 to find a girl and just tell them where she is. Yeah. Which is, I get that it's a bit shady because like she's involved with politicians and stuff. As
a woman, how do you feel about men being paid to stalk women?
It's just a normal casual thing at this point, especially in 1940s.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, I don't support it.
Okay.
But yeah, for the movie, at this point, I was thinking like, okay, he's fine. He's not like stupid. He's not making a stupid decision. You know?
Now, one thing I noticed about Albright, especially during these close-up scenes, he looks mixed. He looks like he's passing. And this is one of the most interesting things about this film, which becomes later about passing. Many of the people who are on the other side of the color line from Ezekiel don't look like they belong there themselves. And I feel like the film title, Devil in a Blue Dress, is actually hinting at more people than just the girl that who is actually in the blue dress, right? It's actually talking about Albright, who I think is who's passing as a white man to be in this gangster world. You know what I mean? But I don't know. What do you think about that?
That's a good theory. Like, if that is actually real, I wish they made it like a bit more obvious at the end, maybe. But yeah, I think I can't tell who's black, who's white.
Exactly, because race.
I don't
because race is a social construct. Race is not real, but in every black person's family in America, we have cousins, aunties, your mama, somebody who look just like Albright, but they black as hell, and that's been their life. You know what I mean? We got light bright to damn near white to all the way to midnight black as far as the shades of what we consider black, proving that race is not real if it's just on skin color. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's also like the dynamic is a bit interesting because we see like the black community sort of in this different light where yes, they're disadvantaged in the society, but they're also like they're like a secret society where they have access to things white people don't have. Like with that, Albright is saying like, I can't get access to that club, but you can, so you do it.
Yeah, as we see right here.
Or here, like this white guy is trying to get into the club. Everyone's trying to be black.
Right.
Well, yeah. So I like the way like the black community is positioned. In these scenes.
Absolutely. So going up to the juke joint. Ezekiel is running around, and this is where I start to think Ezekiel might not be the sharpest guy out there because he instantly goes into the club and says, "Hey, I'm looking for a girl named Dahlia, Daisy, Delilah. I forgot her name. I just heard it."
He literally. I think he was faking it.
You think he was
trying to be like, I don't know, like have you seen someone like that?
Okay, maybe
he was trying to keep it low.
Okay, or maybe he just got that $100 and smoked a joint, and it was like, damn, what was I supposed to do again? But nah, maybe Daphne goes by different names, so maybe he's up in the club trying to ask, right? Anyway, he meets up with one of his homies from the job, whose name I forgot too, but he's important. Big fella right here. We'll call him Big Fella. And his girlfriend, Coretta. And they're just happy to see Easy, man. And, they start talking and stuff like that. And, his friend gets really drunk at the club and starts passing out. And, Easy starts talking to Coretta, who's making eyes at him all night and being kind of flirty and stuff like that. They go back to Coretta's house. And she says, "Oh, you don't like colored women anymore. You asking for my friend Daphne, who's damn near white, huh? Or who is white. Let's say she is white, right?" And so, basically Coretta ends up tricking Easy into having sex with her while her boyfriend is passed out in the bed. And she's like, "Oh, Easy, you hitting my spot. You hitting my spot." That was crazy. And she's like, no, we need to stop. You just trying to get to my friend Daphne. And he's like, "No, baby, I only want you." Okay, let's keep going just a little bit. And so, she ends up telling him more about Daphne. So what did you think about any of these scenes right here?
Yeah, I really like Coretta. Like, she's just, I don't know, she just has an aura that I want to be friends with her. But obviously she's kind of like a bad person. I don't know, because she's cheating on her boyfriend. But I like the dynamic, the relationship they had with Easy. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think, I don't know, like Denzel himself, Easy also feels like, a guy that particularly likes Black women and not necessarily white women. So he kind of takes offense to her saying like, "Oh, you only like colored women or whatever."
No, you don't like colored women.
Oh, sorry, you don't like colored women or whatever. So he's like, "I have to prove it." It's kind of what it felt to me, because he wasn't interested in Daphne. He was just trying to find where she was.
Yeah. What do you think the past was with Coretta and Easy? Do you think they were a thing back? Obviously, they were a thing. I don't think that was the first time they had sex, but
I think it was the first time.
You think it was the first time?
But I think they knew each other before. Because, like, I think, yeah, they saluted each other, so they knew each other, and maybe they were flirting with each other. But I felt like this was the first time they had it.
No, I think they had been messing around before, and you know, maybe this big fella here had just picked up Coretta when maybe, you know, Easy, you know, dumped Coretta or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it looks like. Maybe, but yeah, anyway, so he said he said I kept hitting the spot until the early morning. And he found out some information. So he found out from what Coretta said that Daphne was also fooling around with a brother named Frank Green or something like that, right? And Todd Carter was getting cheated on. So basically, birds of a feather flock together. Coretta cheat, Daphne cheat. There's a whole house full of nasty, nasty girls.
Wow.
Anyway, so Ezekiel is rolling back to his hood the next morning, and some people are actually moving out of the neighborhood. They said it's too fast out here in Los Angeles. And I thought the inclusion of this was kind of interesting and important. Any comments on that?
Yeah, I think that's what I meant in the beginning. Like, I like this back and forth with the crime and then social commentary, like just suburban life. And once again, like we see, yeah, like some people are moving from the South to have a better life, but obviously for some, it's hard. And honestly, I really like this theme because this theme is also very popular in Turkish literature and Turkish cinema, like with the, I don't know, development of big cities like Istanbul, Ankara, and then a lot of people from the rural parts moving there and then having a bunch of like trauma with it, actually.
Yeah.
And being discriminated for being like from a village or something like that. So yeah, I really like this scene also. That's why I put it.
That's a good point. And I like this part too, because it feels a bit like foreshadowing for Easy's story. You know, Easy left Texas to go to California, not only for the jobs, but just for less racism, because we always imagine that some other place in the world will be less anti-Black, right? But like, what's the cost of that? It's too fast out here. Prices are high. People are only focused on themselves. You know, it's all about money. Maybe there's also more crime than back home. You know what I'm saying? So I thought the inclusion of this scene was also a foreshadowing and warning to Easy too. So
yeah, and a lot of just like in general, when they show the society, Easy is never really talking to fathers. Like it's always moms with kids. I don't know why is that.
Because they at work.
I guess
they got jobs.
They're moving, and the mom is driving the car with the kids. You know, like where is the dad?
Oh, maybe, I don't know. That's a good point. But and yeah,
it's always the same. Like it's not just the same.
We have to remember, Easy is a bum. He is unemployed, so of course he's going to be talking to women folk all day. He ain't got no job.
Wow.
But yeah, moving forward, man, I can't. Easy sees the tree man cutting down the people's house that just moved away. Just ridiculous. This is like a crackhead. I can't. You know, this is like you said, this is like an all Black production, you know, like Tyler Perry stuff. But it seems like every time Black people we make something, we have to add a little bit of silliness into it.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of Oh my God. But anyway, man. Basically, I think Albright calls Easy one night and says, hey, meet me out at Malibu Pier, whatever, at midnight, whatever. Easy goes out there, and some white girl from Iowa just comes up and starts talking to him like, oh man, I'm so bummed out, you know, but I'm glad I have you to talk to. And Easy is like, bitch, get away from me. And some white guys come up and start harassing him. And he says, no, we're just talking. And then Albright shows up, puts a gun in the white boy's face and says, I'll blow your brains out, and then tells the white boy to like suck on Ezekiel. Jesus Christ. Do we have that? No, we don't have it here. Anyway, I like this scene. Any comments on this scene?
Yeah, it was a bit like, I don't know what's the thing. And now your theory about Albright like maybe being mixed and passing makes more sense because he came off a bit racist in the beginning, you know?
Yeah.
And then now he's doing the white savior thing and coming up and being like all gangster. So yeah, that is definitely making more sense now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The psychology of Albright is a bit weird. It's a bit like, it's a bit like Black Nazi today. You know what I mean? A brown hand throwing up a Sig Heil. Like on one hand, he's making wild racist comments to Ezekiel. Like, damn, they're giving mortgages to anybody today, huh? he's saying shit like that. But then also at the same time, he's smacking a white supremacist in the head with a gun and saying, suck that black cock. Like he's going in.
And just a little bit, obviously, like he didn't have to go that far, but he wanted to humiliate like that kid who was messing with Easy, right? But at the same time, it also felt like this is about business. He is my business partner, and nobody's gonna hinder my business because I'm paying him to do a job.
I just feel like Albright lets his black side out every now and then, and deep down in that beige heart of his is a very angry, dark-skinned brother. And so every chance he gets to beat up on white folks, he enjoys it for his ancestors.
Okay.
That's what I feel like.
I can see that.
I can see it. It's an angry yellow man. Anyway, so basically some information is exchanged. Albright is told by Easy that Daphne is with this fella named Frank Green, so you need to go find him, and he lives in so-and-so place. And Albright says, here's another $100. I'll call you again and, go about your day, right? So, yeah, moving forward, Easy pulls up at his house, and the police are there. They start grabbing him, beating him up, throw him in the back of the car. They arrest him. They take him to the station, and they ask him, like, what were you doing at 5:30 a.m.? He says, I was just leaving my friend Coretta's house. And he says, oh, you were leaving your friend's Coretta's house. Bam! Knock him in the head, make him start bleeding from his temple and shit like that. And, yeah, they tell him that Coretta is dead, and he is shocked. He is like, wait, what happened? And she ain't waking up again. So they accuse him of being the murderer, right? But he's, he claims he has an alibi. He saw her, but then he left, right? Yeah. So what did you think of any of these scenes?
Yeah, I think as the audience, we were shocked too that Coretta died. I was. And I was kind of also sad because we didn't get to see like their romance flourish, because I was kind of rooting for them, even though it was wrong. But yeah, once again, I think there's a little bit of like the crime part in this, but also, again, like social commentary, that they're beating him up without any really real reason.
Yeah.
They don't have proof that he did anything. He's just the last person that left Coretta's house. So they're kind of trying to pin this on him.
Yeah. I think what adds to the mystery of this film is that Coretta's murder happens off screen. We never see like her bloody body. We never see a flashback of her final moments. If anything, you can even make the argument maybe Coretta didn't die. You would have to really, really reach, because the story builds on her death. But because it's not shown, it adds to the layer of mystery that this film has, which I really liked. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see that. So, but I also liked in this scene, once again, Easy's character is like defiant and dignified. Like, so the police hit him one time, but then when the cop is about to smack him upside the head again, he ducks and he like slams the police officer against the wall. So I like that part too. And so when he leaves the police station, it's like, this is where I think the social commentary on racism really hits. Like, he walks out of the police station and the police are already harassing him too. But I still think there's some dignity too, because even though he has marks on this side of the face, the part where he's bleeding, he's like facing away from them. So I thought that was interesting. Any comments on this part?
Yeah, it was, like you said, this is where the social commentary was. He says like he was kept in the police station for 3 hours. And when he goes outside, he just tries to keep his head high and doesn't mind the police that is outside. Partly, I would say like he's kind of used to it, unfortunately, but also he knows like he's not done anything wrong, so he's a proud man.
Yeah, Yeah, definitely. That's the cool part of this film, that Easy's character, like, even though there's never a point where you look at Easy and say, oh, he's pussy or he's stupid, which I think is a very good thing. And I know I made some jokes earlier, like, oh, this guy's dumb, but in general, he does all the right things. You know what I mean? And that's the most important thing, you know? But this is where the film starts to become a bit political and interesting. So while Easy is walking home, which is incredible in LA, like, how are you walking home anywhere in LA, bro? Like,
I mean, every time I see, like, in a movie, a man walking at night alone to his house or wherever, I'm always a bit jealous because as a woman, I don't always get to do that. So I'm like,
damn, that's real. That's real. But as he's walking home, you know, this luxury car pulls up beside him and says, you know, Mr. Blanche or whatever, the other guy running for mayor wants to talk to you. And at first, Easy is hesitant, but eventually he gets into the car. He gets into the car and sees this big fat guy who talks in a sort of like very nice, genteel, educated kind of way. And he has a small little boy named Jesus, who he claims is his adopted stepson, you know. And so this guy says he's the friend of the Negro and he's going to run for mayor and make things better. And he's very upset that the police have beat on Ezekiel. And he wants to know about, you know, Daphne Monet.
Yeah, I mean, he's sort of like asking about Coretta as well. He says that Coretta worked for me in my campaign and sort of tells us how she died. That she was beaten and died of a heavy blow to the back of the head. And then, yeah, he says that, you know, he should be happy. Ezekiel should be happy because he's going to win. He says, like, I am the next mayor. And then I'm a friend of the Negro. So you should be feeling lucky and something like that. So, yeah.
Looking back and watching this film the second time, I look at this guy with a major side eye, not only for what we discover later, but also I think maybe he might have had Coretta killed.
Yeah.
I think it's very possible.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, continuing on. And the reason I say he might have had Coretta killed is because of what Coretta knew about him. So moving forward, right? Daphne Monet gives a call to Ezekiel. She gets his number. And he shows up at this all-white hotel. He has to be snuck in. And this is when we finally meet the mystery woman, the devil in the blue dress, played by Jessica Biel. And yeah, she said, you know, you were over there looking for Frank Green, but I'm not over here. I'm at this fancy hotel. What do you want from me? And, you know, he says, like, I'm here to take you back to Todd Carter and stuff like that. And she's like, well, I'll go to Albright. And she's like, you know, I would like first for you to drive me to somebody's house, right? I need you to take me to this other guy's house who had a letter of mine that wasn't delivered to the right place. And I need to go get it back, right? So he's driving her through this all-white neighborhood with a white woman in his car. And this is why telling, you know, mystery crime noir stories from a Black perspective is even more interesting, because there's an added level of danger because of the racial dynamics in America at this time, which makes it so interesting, right? So
and he was like, I wasn't scared. I was stupid.
Yeah.
He's like, even in his commentary, there's a bit of comedy also.
Before we get to the big reveal, though, what did you think when we finally met Miss Daphne Monet?
Yeah, I mean, I think they also had some sort of sexual tension between them. You know, I think at one point she was like, do you want to search me and see if I have a gun? And yeah, like, I think she was impressed by this guy, and he was obviously, like, she's also a good looking woman. But he was just, I think, focusing on, like, okay, I'm trying to get out of this situation as smoothly as possible. And I'll just, like, want to deliver this woman to where it has to be delivered. And I think at this point, Easy is thinking Albright is working for Todd, right? The guy who was supposed to be running for mayor, but he's not, because his wife is, like, out here, or not his wife, but his girlfriend. So yeah, and then it was kind of weird. She just agreed, okay, like, take me to him. I give up. And just on the way, I'd like to stop somewhere else. And yeah, I thought it was like there has to be. I think they're gonna get in trouble because it can't be this easy.
A bit suspicious, right? Yeah. By the way, I feel like one of the flaws of this film is that Black people know Black people, right? Like we can spot them out. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like Easy would have been like, girl, who you fooling? I think got me chasing after this light bright. I think got me chasing after this red bone. I feel like if I was Ezekiel, I'd be like, girl, don't tell me you're gonna say you Italian. Don't tell me that you're gonna say you.
Really, you know what I mean? Like, I know, like, because we've seen the movie, we know that she is like, she's half Black or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, but in real life, would you be able to tell?
I feel like
I find that like a special talent, like gaydar or something. You know? Yes, I cannot.
With light skinned people, like because like I'm from Louisiana, and we find out, you know, later in this film that Daphne's from Louisiana, and in Louisiana we got a lot of light brights and Creoles and mixed people and stuff like that. Okay. Especially in like New Orleans. Like I went to college with a girl named Allison Conway. Shout out to Allison. She was really cool. She was on my floor. She looked just like Daphne here. You know what I'm saying? I would say even lighter with straighter hair because this is a bad wig. This is hard wig, soft life.
Wow.
I'm sorry. But for me, that's one of the plot holes because I can tell for me.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm gonna move forward in the story and just pretend I'm not seeing what I'm seeing. So but basically they show up at this guy's house. And this was the white guy from earlier who was trying to get into the club. And I guess presumably he was looking for Daphne too, right? Maybe. And yeah, they see a pack of Zapata cigarettes on the floor. And Daphne screams, she hops in the car and runs away and leaves Ezekiel there. Yeah. So this was like, now this is one of the things about this film that's a bit confusing, and like you have to watch it a few more times or have a breakdown done. I still don't understand the significance of this guy. I don't know if he was working for finding Daphne to get rid of her or to find Daphne to, you know, bring her somewhere. I don't know.
I think this guy was working with Todd maybe, and that he was trying to maybe make sure that Daphne was okay or trying to protect her. And I think that's why Daphne was so like sad and kind of scared that he died, that he was supposed to be her protector or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's my guess. And like the reason why he was trying to get into club was also to find Daphne.
Yes.
And bring her to Todd, maybe.
Yes. I feel like we're not doing the film full justice. I can say if you watch this yourself, you know, you'll be able to piece it together, but it's so hard to do the whole thing without having like a board here with like all the strings attached. Right? Like you need a flow chart to understand who is who, what's their motivation. Because this guy never even spoke in the film. We never know his name, I guess. Or if his name is said, it's only mentioned once, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I haven't watched a lot of crime thriller. Like I've never even seen Seven. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen a lot of them because it's not really my style, or they've just never grabbed me. So
I mean, I like crime thrillers or like, you know, crime in general. I have to say Seven is better than this movie. But yeah, here I kind of didn't like Daphne's reaction because like, okay, you were looking for a letter. You go to the house, you're supposed to find it. You see the man is dead, and then you just scream and run away. Why? Look for the letter. If you came for the letter, it's already like dead, and you have a guy with you who can protect you if someone attacks or whatever.
I get that, but it looks like he's freshly dead. I mean, they showed up and you know, the TV was still on. It looks like the blood is still very wet.
Running alone is better. I don't know. I don't get it.
I mean, I think her idea was to ditch Ezekiel anyway. She was going to find a way to ditch Ezekiel because, like, she's not really just going to go to Albright.
Todd.
Yeah. She's just not going to go to Todd unless she has what she has, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyway, so Easy shows up at his house. Somehow he escaped the white neighborhood after that crazy woman ditched him. And Albright is there making a sandwich in his kitchen. With two gangsters. He has a multi-ethnic racial gang.
Yeah, like an Egyptian man and a Turkish man and Albright.
Yes. So yeah, it's pretty funny. So Albright is threatening to, like, you know, kill Ezekiel because Frank Green is not where they need to go. Eventually, he feels like, you know, Ezekiel led him on a dead end. But then Ezekiel says, "Oh, I just met with Daphne. I know where she is. I took her up to the Hollywood Hills and stuff like that." And they blackmail Easy and say, "Listen, you're connected to two murders. You know, we have you by the balls. You're working with us." So Ezekiel can't walk away from the game now. So any comments on those scenes?
Yeah, I think this is where, like, also as the audience, everyone says, like, oh shit, this is where he fucked up and got involved, thought it was easy money, just trying to pay his mortgage, his little house. But he got into, like, some deep political gangster shit.
Yeah. I gotta say, at this point in the story, I was like, bruh, you got no home security at all, because people just be all up in Ezekiel's crib. And this is not the last time. Like, throughout the film, Ezekiel comes home and there's, like, men all over the place.
Yeah, his home is like a horror house.
Yeah, man. It's just
in an amusement park. Yes. So you go inside and you don't know what to expect. Yeah,
dude's just in and out that thing. At this point, I would say, hey, tree man, you got them little scissors. I need you to stand right here all day. Don't cut nothing. Except somebody in my house, for real. So
yeah.
But moving forward, so at this point, Ezekiel says, "You know what? I'm through being Mr. Nice Guy. Time to call out the big gangster, Mouse." All right, but basically, Ezekiel is pissed off. He shows up at Joppy's house and he's like, "Why did you give that girl my number? Because there was no way she got my number except from you." And Joppy is like, "You know, I wanted to help you out. I wanted to give you some money and to help you, you know, get back on your feet." And Ezekiel is pissed because he doesn't feel like Joppy's being truthful. So he keeps on slamming on the marble that Joppy loves so much at his bar, right? And basically Ezekiel's like, "Why'd you do it, man? Why'd you do it?" And Joppy's like, "Come on, man. You've seen Daphne. That's a bad bitch." And Ezekiel's like, "Oh, Joppy." What did you think of this scene?
I actually really liked the scene. I thought this was a very, very subtle social commentary, because Joppy's character is more like this old school Black guy who is maybe still doing, what was that called? Something politics?
Street politics?
No, like, it's like when you try to present yourself and fit in.
Oh, respectability.
Yes. Joppy is more like respectability politics. And he, you know, has this affection for light-skinned girls and things like that. Right? And then Ezekiel is kind of the opposite, where he's a proud Black man. He fools around with only Black women. And and he's like kind of mad at Joppy for getting him into trouble to help a white woman. And I like that contrast between these two generations, two characters. But also, like, I don't know, he's so good. Like, let me block us and look at his facial expression there. It was so good.
Yeah. Joppy looks scared and terrified. But the thing about Joppy is that he was a prize fighter back in the day. You know what I mean? They mentioned before Joppy was a boxer, and that becomes important in the story later for what he's accused of. But I really think that on one hand, yes, Joppy was impressed by this white woman and was like, "Damn, she fine. Like, yeah, baby, I'll help you out, whatever." But also at the same time, I think he didn't want to get involved in the gangster shit directly.
Yeah.
He wanted to maybe get some money from Albright, but not be out there and be a crash out, because he has his business. He has his slice of the pie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So anyway, so basically Uh,
sorry,
go
I
ahead.
have to say that I just put this picture just to show like how good it looks.
Yeah.
Like the cars and the aesthetic and the suit.
Now,
sorry.
watching this film, it made me realize why in America we have shitty public transit. Because at a point in time, cars were like a beautiful machine. Like Acne said, look at these cars, man. They were gorgeous. Like, of course, fuck a bus, fuck a subway. Give me a Mustang. Give me a Cadillac. I ain't getting in the back of the bus. Give me a Cadillac, boy, for real. These are beautiful machines, but now cars look like shit. They look like postmodern hell. So anyway, basically, this scene makes no sense either because how the hell did Easy just roll up to the mayor's house?
Well, he dropped out of the race, first of all.
That's true.
And, you know, he's a proud black man. Like, he can go anywhere. He put his suit on. Yeah. He's like, he's ready, and I have to say, like, he's looking very good.
Yeah, looking dapper and looking sharp.
Yeah.
So basically, he says like 5 slick words to the secretary, and a white man says, "Ezekiel, come with me." And he takes Ezekiel up to see the former mayor, right? And you know, Ezekiel is like, you know, talking slick to everybody and just using his charm. And basically, he meets Todd, the former mayor, whatever, right? And Todd is like, you know, where is she? I thought she was gone. And, you know, he says, you know, she's still here in town. I met her and I'm still trying to find her for your worker, Albright. And Todd is like, excuse me, what's an Albright? And he's like, wait a minute, you didn't hire somebody to find your girlfriend? And he's like, no, I didn't. So somebody's after her. Yes, I guess so. And really, you know, this is when Ezekiel starts to figure out, okay, something is really off here. Because Albright's been telling me one thing, but I'm meeting now the plug, and the plug is telling me another thing. So then Ezekiel just basically comes up with this deal. Listen, Mr. Todd, give me $1,000 and I'll get you the girl. Mm-hmm. And, you know, at first Todd is like, don't blackmail me. And he's like, I promise, man, you got me. Just now give me $200 cash. So what did you think of this meeting between Todd and Ezekiel?
Yeah, I really like, you know, Denzel's aura in this scene once again. But I'm still thinking at this point that Daphne is like cheating on Todd. And that's why, you know, Albright is after him. But then when he's not connected to Todd, I'm like, okay, like, is maybe Albright is working for someone else who wants to be with Daphne? I'm a bit confused at this point in this movie. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. I guess there isn't that much. And to me, a little bit, he felt more genuine than the guy that we met in the car, who was the other mayor, who was saying like, I'm a friend of black people. But he felt more like, you know, more of a, I don't know, ally.
Right.
Than the other guy.
That's the interesting thing, because I take it that the fat guy in the car who was running for mayor is actually like what we would call the Democrat or the left candidate. And this guy is, I guess, a traditional like right winger. You know what I mean? But it, like you said, you know, there's a gentleness and gentlemanness to this guy more than the other guy who came across like a mob boss. Yeah. You know, fat guy in the back of the car chomping on the cigar.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Todd felt like he appreciated Easy's like professionalness.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Professionalism.
Yes.
But the art in the background doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Like, why would he have a multicultural mestizo type painting in his office space?
I mean, we're never told that he's a conservative.
We're never told that, but if one guy says, I'm a friend of the Negro, then the way it works is the other one is usually the enemy. You know, that's how it usually is. But anyway, we're going to continue here. So basically, Easy starts asking around town, Frank Green, where's Frank Green? I don't know no Frank Green, leave me alone. And then Easy comes home. The tree man is like, hey, Zeke. And Zeke is like, I don't want to hear it. Don't cut no trees now. There's a man in your house. And then we meet Frank Green, and Frank Green is pissed. He don't want to hear shit. He don't want to know why you asking about him. He shows up with a knife. And meanwhile, Ezekiel is like, listen, man, I got $500 for you, Frank, $500. a rich white man wants to give you $500 if you just get me Daphne, and he's about to stab Ezekiel in the neck. But then this is when Mouse shows up. Mouse shows up in his first lines. You want me to shoot this son of a bitch easy? He's so cold. I love it. I love it. What did you think about any of those scenes and Mouse's appearance?
Yeah. At this point, still, like, I'm trying to figure out the story. We just meet another character, which is Frank Green, which is mentioned in the story before. But in these scenes, he doesn't say a lot. So,
he literally says nothing.
Yeah, he just
nothing.
Says, yeah. So I'm all confused now.
Yeah.
But yeah, when Don Cheadle comes to the scene, he's great. I like his hat. He looks like that painting with the farmer and his wife with the apple.
He looks like an evil Monopoly man.
Yes. And I don't know, just his aura is funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's so good.
The thing about me and Don Cheadle, I remember the first Don Cheadle film I really saw was Hotel Rwanda. So I always thought Don Cheadle was African until like very recently. I thought he really spoke like this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I always looked at Don Cheadle as a bit like white coded. You know what I mean? Like I always looked at him as like, you know, like that one black friend. He's somebody's one black friend. But this one, he was so authentically hood. Like it was so hood, so gangster, so old school black gangster. It's so real the way he did it. With the gold teeth and everything, like we'll see later, like I'm fanning over Mouse for the rest of this film.
Yeah, but I think like, I don't know, maybe like his later roles, like you said, the reason why you thought maybe he was a bit white-coded might be because this movie flopped. Yeah. And he you know, played this like very authentically black gangster, and he did a great job. I thought it was like, you know, their chemistry, his acting was perfect in this movie. And it's but because the movie flopped in the box office, maybe he said, maybe not my cup of tea.
Yeah. And, you know, he was in Rosewood as well, too. Like, you know, in Rosewood, that was a very black film, you know what I'm saying? But in that, he was like the respectable Negro, which is a bit white-coded in and of itself, right? But it's interesting that he almost didn't take this role. We watched the video before doing this live stream where Don Cheadle said, how am I going to pretend to be an older friend of Denzel Washington when Denzel is like 5 or 7 years older than me?
10 years, actually.
10 years. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, like it's crazy he almost didn't take this.
Yeah, but they sort of figured it out by making him look a bit older and then making Denzel look a bit younger. It's so funny, like when we watch those like trivia videos, apparently Denzel said, don't worry, I look young in front of the camera. It's just so cocky. I'm sorry, but he does. Like they do look the same age.
They do.
You can't tell that there's a 10-year-old difference.
They do. Anyway, Mouse's character is very interesting. He's very loyal, but he's also a hothead, right? So while Easy is saying like, Frank, listen, you got a gun to your head, but I need you to calm down and listen. A man is willing to pay $1,000 just to talk to this girl. Please tell me something. And Frank is not saying anything. And then, you know, Mouse says, I know what I can do. He pulls out a gun and shoots Frank Green in the shoulder. And Easy is like, man, what the fuck are you doing? Let go of me, man. Let go of me. I know. And Frank Green runs out of the house. And the way it's done, like, of course, that's torture. That's literally torture. But it's done so funny in a way that I just had to stop right there. Man, I think we enjoyed watching this the first time a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, Mouse then turns on the cuteness. Like, this is so cute. He says, I promise to do whatever you say, Easy.
And then Easy's like, it's the wrong hand.
It's the wrong hand. It's so gangster. It's such an incredible character done. But what did you think of that, if anything?
Yeah, I think like just by his first scene in the movie like goes from a 6 to like a 7 to an 8, just with his presence. The whole like mood of the movie and the pace of the movie also like picks up So I really appreciate like his character, how it was written, and also like his acting as well.
Mm-hmm.
And their chemistry is so good because they're like these friends who are bickering and kind of always in argument, but also like really love each other deeply because they go way back.
They go way back.
Yeah. So I really like their dynamic. And I think what makes his like torture or his killings kind of funny in a way is that like he just genuinely believed that that was the right thing to do. Like he does it in such a natural way.
Yes.
It's like a duh. Like that was the only thing that we could do to make him talk. And that's what just makes it funny because I don't know, it just interweaves with Easy's plans of being a good guy and not harming anybody.
Yes.
And it's just funny.
Oh my God. I love it. I love it. I love it. My God. Oh my God. I could talk all day just about this scene, but we got to keep it rolling. We got to keep it rolling. But anyway, so basically, the police show up again. They accuse Ezekiel of being involved with the murder of that white man that we saw when he first went with Daphne Monet. And the guy's name is Richard McGee. And so now he's tied to Richard McGee and Coretta James's murder. The police say, we're going to take you in right now. And even if you didn't do the murder, we know how to make you guilty of a murder, right? So then he tells the police, listen, man, just give me like 24 hours. Give me till the morning. I promise I can come up with something, with some information. And the police say, okay. Like looking back, watching that the second time, that didn't make sense. I had to like draw some like strange conclusions in my head to figure out why they did that. And the only thing I could come up with is that the police maybe think Ezekiel is tied to some deeper underworld gangster shit that they're trying to uncover, right? Or maybe they're in it with Albright and they're just threatening him because these cops could be dirty cops.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are the only theories I could come up with. What do you think?
I think I also thought like it was a bit too easy of a let go because right there they were saying like, oh, evidence has a way of showing up. Mm-hmm. So you see how easy for them to frame him and then be done with the case. Mm-hmm. But what I thought was maybe they're connected to the politicians. And the politician guy that we met in the car, I thought maybe he was, because he was also trying to find Daphne, he was letting the police pressure Easy and not actually like taking him away from the streets because then, you know, he's like they're using him as a tool until they get to Daphne and then they'll just put him in jail. Maybe.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. So yeah, as basically Ezekiel now has 24 hours to figure out his situation, how to get it done. So moving forward, he yells at the tree man, which is an everyday occurrence. By the way, I would much rather the hood have tree man than crackheads, though. Like, for real. Like, this is so much cuter and more innocent.
Obviously.
Yes. Oh, man. So, essentially, they show up at this guy's house, whose name I forget, right?
Yeah, but he's the same guy who guarded the Black Club inside the grocery store.
Exactly, yeah. So they pull up at his house, and he sees Mouse, and he sees Ezekiel. He's like, hey, come on in, man. Yeah, we're good. And Ezekiel instantly starts going off, why did you kill Richard McGee? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, we know you were there, you fat motherfucker. The Zapata cigarettes, only your fat black ass smokes them. He's like, I didn't take nothing out that man's house. So you were at the man's house. And the man's like, oh, shit. And yeah.
And Mouse is just laughing in the corner. Like,
he's laughing in the corner. And he's like, sit your ass down because I'll shoot your ass. And I think Mouse even threatened him right here, too. And just the gold tooth smile on Mouse is so iconic. So iconic, bro. This is such an ill scene. But anyway, they start talking about, the situation that was going down. And this guy says, like, yo, I was just there as muscle. You know, they were shaking this guy down, asking about this white girl that y'all are after. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Any comments on any of this?
Yeah, I think the guy, Richard McGee, gave this guy like $10 to drop him off to his house. And because that guy was so drunk, this guy robbed his house basically after that. And he didn't kill him. He says, like, the guy was so drunk, he fell asleep or whatever. And then, he just robbed his house and went out.
I see. But then Albright, I guess, maybe showed up and killed him.
Yeah, we don't know who killed him still. But we also know that, he was also interrogated by Richard McGee about Daphne.
I see.
So everyone is looking for Daphne.
Everybody's looking for Daphne. But I guess he was looking... Richard McGee was looking for Daphne for the pictures?
I don't know. No. But I mean, we don't know at this point, but we know Richard McGee had letters
from Daphne
that he delivered to a wrong place.
I see. Sorry. Okay, so he showed up at the house to get the letter and then give it to Coretta the next morning or something like that.
Yeah.
I guess Coretta, because she worked in the office of the fat mayor, had access to the pictures. And then maybe she gave the pictures to Richard McGee, who then, which is why Daphne went to go get them from her. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know, but they basically had the pictures, and Daphne is trying to get to the pictures. I see.
And she's using Coretta meanwhile.
Okay. It's convoluted. It's a crazy mixed up story. Anyway, so they show up at Big Fella's house. Big Fella was the guy that was dating Coretta, and he's all sad and broken up. He said, "Why would anybody want to kill my baby Coretta? She was such a good Christian girl." She was always so faithful and loyal to me. And Ezekiel had to sit there with a straight face. And I love that scene too. I love this scene right here when this guy is like, "I miss my baby so much." And he's like, yeah, she was a good girl.
Yeah, while he's asking Mouse, like, "Do you want some pigtails?"
Yeah, man. But anyway, basically this guy is like, everything between Daphne and Coretta was such a damn secret, and all Coretta left me was a Bible. She came running.
This was hilarious. Yeah, she was like, she was such a good woman, so faithful. That morning she came out carrying her Bible and gave it to me and told me to keep it safe. And we know like what she was doing that morning.
I know, right?
with Easy,
which is crazy. Yeah. Which is crazy. So yeah, basically now Easy discovered where the pictures are, or the letter that Daphne is looking for, and he finds in the envelope in the Bible pictures of horrific sexual acts against children done by the fat mayor in the back seat of that car. And it was with that little boy, Jesus, who he claimed was his adopted son. And I remember the first time we watched this, I was like, whoa, yeah. Epstein Island, whoa. I did not expect this out of nowhere. It was sad. It was gross. It was shocking. I think this is one of the best twists I've ever seen on screen. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I definitely also didn't expect a social case, a social justice case. Mm-hmm. I was expecting, Daphne is fooling around with some people, mm-hmm. and I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's a crime because she's white and mm-hmm. the guys who she's fooling around with are black. I thought that was going to be the whole thing, mm-hmm. but it was much more than that, which I liked. Mm-hmm. I liked this turn that, this group of people, or Daphne, was actually trying to do something right, and Coretta and all of the people that were involved.
As we imagine, right? Because the way it sounds, right? It sounds like Daphne was after the pictures at this point, to get some dirt on the opponents, and she had to just run away from Todd for a brief moment, but he'll understand later. It's not like she's doing this out of the goodness of her heart, though, as we'll find out later.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a very sick and disturbing turn, and it made the film much darker for me, especially because in the scene where we saw the kid kiss the old man, I said, "Oh, that's just maybe his son, or like you said, stepson, whatever." I didn't think much about it. But the way they brought it back, I was like, oh wow, that's dark.
Like he was just touching him in the car.
Yeah.
Before Easy got into the car.
Right
it was
before
so bad.
Yeah, very disturbing. Very disturbing. So anyway, then after we have that very dark reveal, we get one of the funniest scenes. So basically, Easy is like, "Hey, Mouse, wake up, we gotta go." He's like, "Don't you touch me, motherfucker!" And Mouse is drunk as hell, and he pulls a gun out on Easy. He's like, "Is you crazy or is you drunk?" He's like, "I ain't drunk. I'm the quickest man to draw a gun. Watch this. I'll put the gun down. Try to touch me." Don't touch me, motherfucker. He pulls out another gun on him. I couldn't help but laugh. I was screaming, laughing at this scene, Red. I love this. But what did you think?
Yeah, this was hilarious. Like, he's so drunk and also so gangsta that he's like trying to fight his best friend over like who can pull the quickest gun or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, this is funny.
This was hilarious. And then the way Ezekiel brought him down, I think revealed a little bit about Mouse's psychology, because he said, "Yeah, Mouse, yeah, you got this one. He'll always be scared of you, even if you put the gun down." He's like, "You're right. He'll be scared of me." And I thought that revealed that maybe deep down inside, because his name is Mouse, right? And what does Mouse mean? Small, weak, fragile, prey. You know what I mean? Maybe Mouse always felt small and feels big and powerful with the gun, but his name stuck. So he's always fighting against that sort of maybe, identity crisis, imposter syndrome. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, in the movie, they don't really give us that much about Mouse in terms of his background and, I don't know, like psyche.
Yeah.
We know like he's just a crazy guy, basically. But yeah, I do wish they maybe let out a bit more than just like making him a comical relief.
Yeah, but I think, throughout the film, they call him Raymond and then sometimes Mouse. So he does have a real name. And it's not like his name is Michael, so then Michael Mouse. It's like something totally different. So I think your nickname, says a lot about you. You know what I mean? And I think, the fact he puts the gun down because he says, he'll be scared of you. That influences Mouse to not kill his friend. But moving forward, basically, in the story, Ezekiel's like, "I got the pictures, I got the letter, I just need her to call me again. And then everything will be set fine. I'll have $1,000, I can pay for my house, and everything's good." He shows up in the house and Daphne is there and she didn't even cook nothing. At least Albright showed up and made a sandwich
for himself.
I'm just saying, she's just back there chain smoking cigarettes. I'm sorry.
And that goes to show even Daphne can't break into his house.
I know, right? This house ain't worth it. Like even.
I wanted to say, I forgot, Mouse and Easy drive around visiting different people, right? Other Black people who are, Easy is friends with. And I have to say, that thing you said about like the GI Bill, we see like the other big guy and the guy who was working in the club, they live more modestly. Yeah, like their houses are not the same as Easy's house.
They're in Compton, and at that time, Compton was literally like a swamp or the woods or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so
I think that difference is shown, but it's like super subtle.
It's like, very subtle.
Unless you think about it.
But I did notice that too when they showed up to Buddy's house here. Yeah. His house was like very, very small and, kind of the trap. And then they show up at Big Fella's house here. It's literally in the woods. It's like they're still down south in Mississippi.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But everybody got a fresh lineup though. Fresh. Look at the back of that man's neck. Sharp.
Okay.
Sharp. You ain't notice that? Anyway. So moving forward though, like basically, this is where there's a little bit closer of sexual tension where that eventually gets released between Ezekiel and Daphne. Like they almost kiss, if I remember right. They don't kiss. There's actually a deleted sex scene in this film. How different do you think this film would be? Because I think this is where it would have happened had it been in the movie.
I mean, here Daphne is like playing around and trying to, get to the pictures. And Easy knows about the pictures, so he just says, "I know about the pictures. Stop like bickering." And this is when she makes a move on him. And obviously, it's motivated by what she wants. She's not really into him. She just wants the pictures, and that's why she just tries this tactic. And if they had made love in the scene, I thought it would have been like really bad because her motives are not there. Like, she has different motives. She's just using Easy to get to the pictures. So I wouldn't have liked that. And I'm glad it didn't happen.
Yeah. When I think about it now, I think Daphne, she's very, very manipulative. And I think it's easy to say, oh, she's like this tragic mulatto victim in this world. But, if they left that sex scene in there, it would have made it even more obvious that she is the devil in the blue dress. In a lot of ways, everybody in this film has a lot of bad in them, and they're only self-interested and motivated. And Daphne is definitely only self-interested in whatever her goals are, as far as we know at this point, in getting the pictures. And by sleeping with Easy to get the pictures, or sleeping with Easy after revealing that she'll pay for the pictures, whatever it would have just showed her to be like, somebody willing to sell her soul to get whatever gold, it is there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think we still understand that she's a manipulative bitch. Sorry.
Yeah. I wouldn't go so far as to call her a bitch, but she is manipulative. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll get to my point later.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, so basically they make a deal, she'll pay $7,000 to Easy to get those pictures, and he realizes they are very important. And
he doesn't want the money anymore because at this point he knows that he's being threatened to be put in jail. So he's like, I don't care about the money. I don't care if you give me $10,000. If I don't give the cops a killer by tomorrow, I'm going to jail. So yeah.
So this is now his main aim, right?
Yeah. So she's unable to persuade him, and then they sort of start arguing or fighting in a way, and things get heated. And then this is when Daphne reveals like Frank is her brother. They have different fathers. And, she's mulatto, or I don't know, like half black, quarter black, whatever.
Half black, quarter black, whole black. Hey!
Yeah. And she's saying like, I'm just trying to keep Frank out of it. And yeah, basically this is where we have a revelation about Daphne.
Yeah, she's Creole. She's a quarter black. Frank is like half black, but they're brothers. And so she's not sleeping with Frank. Frank is not her boyfriend or something like that. Yeah. Frank is, related. That's a family. And so basically, when this is revealed, Albright shows up and he starts, demanding, where are the pictures? And she says, I don't know what you're talking about. They smack her and drag her to the car. And then they beat down on beat down on Ezekiel. And they're about to kill him. I think he says, Sharif, don't shoot him. He tells his shooter, Sharif. But anyway, Albright leaves Ezekiel there in the house, and I guess they'll deal with him later. Yeah. Or they'll leave him for the cops because, he'll just be arrested. You know what I'm saying? So
here's the part why I called Daphne a bitch. In one of these scenes here, she also reveals that she's the one who sent Joppy to threaten Coretta about the pictures or something. And she says something like, I just wanted to scare her a little bit. I didn't want her to die. I didn't mean her to die. It's something like that. So to me, it feels like she's the source of a lot of pain.
And she might have killed her friend.
She might have killed her friend.
Yeah.
She probably also has a percentage in that guy that got killed as well, Richard McGee or whatever. So yeah, it feels like, yes, she's after like this man who's a pedophile, right? Not for the right reasons. And plus she got a lot of people killed along the way. So that's why I feel like she's a bitch.
Yeah, you know what? I'm still not going to call her that, but I definitely see your theory. I think just calling her the devil would work too, because yeah, she is that. I definitely, now that we know she's black, I can say this. I think, she's getting the pictures back so that she can get back with her white zaddy, and by blackmailing the other guy, not because she wants to drain the swamp of pedophiles, but just because she wants to be next on the lap of the white man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you said, she probably ended up getting Coretta killed, either intentionally. I believe more intentionally she had Coretta killed, to get her off the trail and to get people off the trail of following her. You know what I'm saying?
Might be.
But it's also Albright is trying to get to, now that we know that Daphne's black, we know Albright is trying to get to her to do a reverse blackmail, like on the opposite mayor. So, Albright actually works for the fat pedophile mayor who is trying to find Daphne to expose that she's black, proving that Mr. Liberal, I'm a friend of the Negro, is quick to use exposing people as half black as like a trump card, as a racist trump card, which is very weird, so, but basically, they Mouse is called out by Ezekiel again, who gets up after getting beat down. He gets one of their guns. They go to Joppy's. Ezekiel kidnaps Joppy, throws him in the back of the car, and forces Joppy to tell them where they at. And he says they're in a cabin up in the woods. They drive out to the cabin. Albright is up there about to brand, Daphne with a hot ironing rod. And Ezekiel ends up like shooting through the window, busting at Sharif and the Chinese man and Albright. He kills the Rainbow Coalition. And Mouse ends up saving the day and delivering a shot into Albright's chest that has him slowly bleed out. And this is actually a really vicious death. It's like you see a man die right in front of you, and it feels too real on screen, right? So,
and they pause a long time in this scene as well.
Yeah, as they
two of them looking at him.
As they watch him like take his last breaths, which is very interesting. But what did you think about any of those scenes?
Just quickly going back, in this scene, there's also like Mouse is in the front, right? And riding the car. And there's another comic relief where like when he finds out that Joppy potentially killed Coretta, he turns back and without saying anything, he shoots Joppy in his arm or something, or he shoots in the back of the car.
You think Mouse had sex with Coretta too? Because why is everybody turning up? But you did what to Coretta?
I don't know. Maybe it's because he met Coretta's boyfriend or something.
Maybe.
That he felt like that was the just thing to do. And then when Easy tells Mouse that, they're going to get $7,000 if they find this girl and he knows where he is. Easy's like, oh, shit. Okay, let me drive. Sorry about that.
The way he said it too, he said, oh my God. Oh my God. It's like Ice Cube in War of the Worlds. Oh my God.
But that was like another, hilarious section of Mouse there.
Oh my God.
And this part is really also terrifying because of her screaming and crying.
I thought she was getting raped, like when she showed up. She was like, help me.
Yeah, it was scary for her. And I thought, like, also, once again, like you said, this scene was really important because this is the first time we actually see Ezekiel kill someone. And it's always like it's always Mouse who does the killing or other people. And Ezekiel, I feel like, tried very hard to be like harmless in this world that he got himself into.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was specifically because of his past, but also like the fact that he was in a war and he probably saw a lot of men get killed. He probably killed men also himself in his past life and during the war. So I felt like this was a bit of a PTSD moment for him, right? Like the trauma coming back and the life, in a way, putting himself again in this position of a killer.
That's a very good point. I mean, there aren't many references to Ezekiel's life in World War II, but it was World War II. He probably got shot at or shot somebody seen lives taken or taken them himself. So yeah, that's a very good point. And I think the way they watch Albright die out here, it sort of like is like them coming face to face with really what death is like. You know what I mean? Because at this point, they have been shooting at people, but not, taking full on lives. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. The last thing that sort of happens, they save the girl, and this allows Ezekiel or Denzel Washington to be like, the hero that saves the day, right? But something tragic happens at the car, right? Joppy was killed. And when Ezekiel left Mouse with Joppy, he said, "Don't shoot him, Mouse." And Mouse says, "I won't shoot him." Ezekiel comes back. He's like, "Mouse, Joppy dead." He said, "I didn't shoot him. I just choked him." You told me not to shoot him.
Yeah, he said, if you didn't want him dead, why did you leave him with me?
Which is hilarious. Don't leave your girl around me, true killer for real. As
there were so many lines that were fantastic. I couldn't even fit it here.
Yes.
Like, this is the whole conversation, and then on top of it, he says that.
Like, it's such dark humor. Like, it's very, very dark humor. Like, if you didn't want him dead, not to leave him with me. What? The logic, the mind of Mouse. Mouse needed his own movie, his own series, but right? that ship has sailed. But anyway, man. So I think in this part, this justifies my theory that I think Daphne directly killed Coretta, because the way she looks at Joppy's body and she shakes her head, she's like, "I saw an innocent man die." She didn't do that when she saw the other people die around her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She just saw an innocent man die. So that's why she's like, "Oh no, that's horrific." So that's sort of like her comment. But any comments?
Yeah. I mean, we still kind of don't know who killed Coretta exactly, because Joppy gets blamed, but he says he didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like this happens where it feels like Daphne's feeling guilty because she knows Joppy actually didn't kill Coretta.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I'm thinking, okay, it was the mayor's guys or Albright who killed Coretta. Like, who actually killed? We still don't know.
We don't know.
And maybe it would have been good to reveal it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a mystery. Once again, that adds to the mystery of this film. And it would have been even iller if Coretta walked out of the woods and said, "Y'all talking about me?"
Wow. Why would she walk out of the woods?
I don't know.
Has she been living there?
No, I'm just saying it would have been, the twist would have been insane. But anyway, moving forward, I forgot who Mouse wanted to kill right here. Did he want to kill somebody else?
No, he's like, I don't know. Maybe.
I think he wanted to kill the fat mayor, the pedophile mayor, maybe.
Yeah, maybe him or maybe Todd. I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone.
Yeah, I didn't think he wanted to kill Todd. I think he wanted to kill the fat pedophile mayor, because technically the fat pedophile mayor is the guy who hired Albright to make Ezekiel's life a living hell. So Mouse is like, "Listen, boss, I could shoot him, then hop on the evening train and we be gone." So Mouse is bloodthirsty. He is insane. He's here for all the smoke.
Yeah.
He's here for all the smoke. And the category is friends you wish you had.
I don't know about that.
I want Mouse as a friend.
If Mouse is my friend, I'm going to jail.
I know, right? Oh man, but anyway, so Mouse leaves town and he hops in a taxi, and Ezekiel's left just sort of standing there like, "What the fuck just happened?"
He's like, I should never call him.
The friends I have, right? But yeah, Mouse exits the story. And then, Ezekiel is driving Daphne up to the house of Todd. And Daphne has this vision in her mind that when Todd sees the pictures of the mayor with the children, he's going to win the race. And then we can be together as a family. Because we find out that Todd's parents actually paid Daphne $30,000 to leave their son. And she ended up taking that money and using it to buy the pictures of the mayor, the pedophile mayor, so that her husband could definitely win the race to be mayor, therefore making their, relationship not a poison for his career, right? But Daphne. Oh, Daphne, the tragic mulatto. Oh, she realizes that the man, he ain't about that life. You know, he's not a friend of the Negro. So even though Ezekiel is doing like this monologue, and he's like, even though we fought a war to keep the world free, a white man is still scared to cross the color line. And then one of the funniest lines in the film happens here. The Todd comes up to Ezekiel and he's like, listen, you'll have no problems with the police. You're not going to be charged for any of the murders. You know, keep the money, whatever, right? But, you know, I need you to get her out of town, right? Is what he says, right?
I mean, yeah. He says, like, thanks for keeping her protected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He
doesn't really say anything for the future.
Okay. But then he drops this line. He says, I do love her. And I interpreted this line as saying, I'm not racist. That's how I thought about this line. I'm not racist. Listen, man, I'm not racist. I don't have a prejudiced bone in my body. Or the favorite, I don't
see color.
I don't see color, buddy. Anyway, what did you think about the denouement, the climax of this story?
I mean, I really like the monologue here that Ezekiel does, and it sort of like ties it all together, what he's been thinking, and it sort of like once again gives a social commentary. Kind of feel sad for Daphne, but she had it coming, and she sort of deserved it by getting Coretta killed. And then, and also thinking that she would have been exempt because she's passing. But yeah, here I also thought, like, you know, it was very hypocritical of him to say, like, I do love her. Okay, then be with her. Like, you don't even have, I don't know, anything against being with her other than her race. Literally, she made it possible for y'all to be together. And you're still like, I have to obey my parents, you know, and I have to be like the white man who's married to a white woman. So yeah.
I think the film would have made us understand Todd more if we got a hint at his campaign. And if his campaign was like an explicitly like white nationalist, you know, very right wing campaign, we would understand why he can't marry his you know, Doja Cat.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is like in that social political environment. I can see it's like the, you know, Sidney Poitier movies where like it's forbidden, right? In the movie, we see like when, for example, Easy visits Daphne for the first time in the hotel. He sneaks from the back with the help of a doorman, basically, because that part of the hotel is white only. So you have all these restrictions and, you know, I guess rules or laws that prohibits multiracial relationships.
There's the written rules and the unwritten rules. And the unwritten rule for Todd is like, you know, love has its barriers, you know. Love is not colorblind.
But the sad part about Todd is that he's a bit in a position to do this and then create change as he's a powerful, rich, white American man in America who's running for mayor, right? So, yeah.
But I think that goes to show like how racism works both ways. Like by creating this system of fake hierarchy based on skin color, this man can't be with the woman he loves. And that's sort of like a tragedy too. You know what I mean?
Or he has to make huge sacrifices in order to be with the woman he loves. And he's not
willing. He's not willing to do that, you know? And she and everybody in this film made incredible sacrifices for things that we're saying, like, as the audience, like, don't make sense. Like Ezekiel, like, you don't need to get into this gangster shit to keep a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom flat. You know what I'm saying? Daphne, you don't need to portray your Black heritage just to get a sickly looking zaddy. You know what I mean? Like,
she just wanted to be the first lady. You know? She wanted that life.
She wanted that soft life, but that hard wig was too much. That hard wig. She's like, I hate this itchy motherfucker. It would have been hilarious if she tore the shit off right then and there.
That would have been funny.
I don't know, like, this motherfucker stank. Oh my God. Her name was Ruby Hanks from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Her name wasn't even Daphne. She just made up a whole fake French name.
What is Daphne Monet?
Daphne Monet. Yeah, okay, sure.
Sounds like a stage name.
Yeah, sure, yes. And I'm Lizzo. Daphne Monet. Shut up, Ruby. Anyway, so yeah, at this point, Ezekiel like tries to walk her up to her house. She just looks him dead in the eye, and I could hear the hard R from behind those eyes.
Wow.
I could hear the hard R. Oh my God. What did you think of Daphne's like sad walk away?
I mean, I think this is like her, realization moment in life where she tried so hard to climb up the social ladder by, presenting herself as fully white, where, the society was never going to accept her because of how discriminating it is. And yeah, she thought she could get away with it. She thought she could use her whiteness. And once again, I guess like it goes to show that race is not real because she looks white.
Yes, let her in.
And just because of the, I don't know, one drop rule, she's her all of her privileges are taken away, basically. Yeah. So yeah.
Man,
she deserved it.
Such a tragedy. But anyway, this guy, so at the end of the film doesn't feel like it's tied to its themes. It feels just kind of silly and random. It feels like a scene in Ice Cube's Friday. You know what I mean? So anyway, he's hanging out with his boy Deacon, who is like, I guess his square friend. When Mouse Odell, yeah, Odell, whatever, right? He's like a square. He has glasses, bad hairline, If he met Daphne, he would have fell out of his seat. He would have said, yeah. Wow. Odell would have said, yeah. Anyway, Odell and him are talking like, all you got in life is friends, and oh yeah, I got some money saved up. I don't need a job no more. I'm going to do some private investigating now. And so, yeah, they're just having little chats on the porch.
Here, like, the thing was, Easy says something like, if you knew your friend did a bad thing, would you still be friends with him? Something like this. And then this guy says, like, all you got is friends. It's kind of doesn't matter. And I feel like maybe Odell, like, accepts his friend, Easy, and also Easy, I felt like making peace with himself and also with Mouse as well, a little bit. So that's what it sort of represented for me.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. I think, Easy is still haunted by whoever they killed in Texas, him and Mouse. And so maybe that's why he's like, damn, Mouse sort of saved my life after I guess I helped him out do something bad, right? And I'm still torn about the bad thing I did with Mouse back in the day, but should I also be torn about the bad stuff I did with Mouse today? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I guess he's asking like, Deacon, you're a square loser soy boy, and you're hanging out with the top shooter right now. Do you know who you're sitting with? Would you still be my friend? And Odell looks him dead in the eyes and said, all you got is friends. So I guess. And then, there's still the tree man chopping down trees. And, Jesus, it makes no sense. The last 2 minutes of this film make no sense. So, yeah, basically Ezekiel chases down the tree man. He's out in the neighborhood of beautiful Black Los Angeles. And he says, I sat with my friend and I played dominoes. I forgot all about Daphne and Albright and all the BS I was in. And I sat on my porch at my house and everything was all right. The end.
And we laughed for a long time.
The ending is hilarious. It makes you burst out laughing on the second watch, I would say.
Yeah. The ending for me was like just cringe. Like not this part. This part was okay. Like when they were talking about friends, I actually thought, okay, it was fine that he was trying to make peace with himself and with Easy and whatever. But then, like, we come to this scene. What is this? Once again, I feel like this was very obvious, in your face, American dream propaganda.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how much racism I endured during this past week, I still have my house.
Yeah.
So it was like, this kind of does not make sense.
If this film doesn't make you want to buy a house and just do unspeakable crimes to keep it, then I don't know what will. So overall, though, I rate this film very highly. I give it like a solid, very solid 8.5 to a 9, possibly. I could see me watching this film a few years later, picking up more on the story, understanding it a bit more. It's not that I'm not like mature enough to get it now. It's just to connect the dots, you really have to have all your synapses working. You know what I mean? Maybe also reading the book might help too. So, but yeah, what's your final score?
I am gonna give this movie a 7.5. I thought this movie was good. Like, generally, it was exciting. It was funny at times. I like this genre of crime. And all of, obviously, the acting was really good. It was just a bit, I don't know, like, not developed enough as a concept or as a movie. Like, I like all the bits, the social commentaries and everything, but I thought if they did a sequel to this, that would have been better, probably, because it would have been like, now the world is created. Like, this, I don't know, this world creating was maybe a bit immature in this movie.
Maybe like if it was a trilogy, if we had 2 more movies to build on Easy's story, and get more things fleshed out, then
like, I'm thinking of, a little bit of like Sherlock Holmes, or any movie that has like a series, basically, even Harry Potter and things like that, right? Or Star Wars. I feel like the world building is a bit better in those movies, and this movie lacked that for me. And it definitely took me the second time to understand the whole plot and the whole character cast.
And even still, we didn't explain it as well as we could. We got tripped up in the middle.
Like, it's a bit complex to follow with every single character and every single event. And I don't know, like, how you can make that smoother. But once again, I'm comparing a bit to Sherlock Holmes, which is one of my favorite series. I feel like in those series, like, everything, the stories are also very complex, and there are bits and details, but everything ties up at the end very, very clearly. And you see every little detail explained. And that was a bit lacking in this movie as well. That's why my score is 7.5.
7.5 is respectable. I'm not mad at anybody who gives it like that score. My score is just a bit higher because I really appreciate replay value, and I really also appreciate Don Cheadle's contributions here. Like, it's very rare, like, to see somebody do better than one of the top actors of all time on screen, and to see Don Cheadle do that is just amazing in and of itself. I would rewatch this film, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe a few years from now, and I would have a good time with it. You know what I mean? So that's why I give it that high score. But anyway, this has been episode 141 of Simon and Acting Movie Reviews. So looking forward to seeing what y'all think about that. We got some other films coming up. Let us know if you want to be involved. You can hit up my email and you can join the conversation. And y'all be easy out there. Stay blessed and peace.